Hey guys, so welcome back. We're taking a look at Moon Cresta, and I'm actually dedicating this entire month to reviewing this game series. Yes, I'm dedicating 5 solid Saturdays to reviewing an extremely niche space shooter franchise. Why? Well, a few months ago, on my pole position video, shout out to you, TFFAN 1002 MK2. That is quite the mouthful of a username. Anyway, he commented and asked me to cover the series. And I've been spending the past couple months looking into it. It is extremely obscure, by the way, so finding information about the game can be a little difficult. And now I think I finally have enough information to do it. And honestly, I think the series is going to be pretty interesting to look at. It's weird, it's niche, and that's basically my brand at this point. Before we jump in, if you like the stuff I make here and want to support the channel, I don't have a Patreon and I'm not monetized on YouTube, but I do make video games. My studio, Centurion Dragon Studios, has several titles out right now. But if you're a fan of space shooters, I recommend Nova Rebellion, a space shooter where you play as rock and roll space outlaws. Links to that game, as well as all the other games we make, are in the description. As well as links to our Discord server, if you want to hang out with the Centurion Dragons community. Alright, let's talk about Moon Cresta. Moon Cresta is a 1980s arcade shoot-'em-up where you pilot the CR-47, a little ship that scoots along the bottom of the screen and blasts incoming alien waves. Pretty standard early arcade stuff, until you get to the game's big gimmick. The ship comes in 3 phases, and you dock them mid-game. You start with phase 1, a tiny ship with a single shot. Survive a few waves, and you enter a docking bonus stage. And if you line up perfectly, phase 2 attaches to your ship. Survive more waves, and you can dock phase 3. Get all 3, and you're now a clunky triple shot murder machine. But here's the catch. If you get hit, you lose a phase. And if you're down to 1 phase and get hit again, that's game over. So, as you can see, your phases act like lives. Which is definitely interesting, because every time you get hit, the gameplay changes a bit. For example, phase 2 of the rocket, when you're playing as just phase 2, is bigger and easier for the enemies to hit, but it fires 2 shots instead of 1. Phase 3 also fires 2 shots, but is way bigger than both phase 1 and 2, and the enemies can hit it way easier as well. It's definitely a very unique live system, and it's very different from what other arcade machines were doing at the time. And if you manage to get all 3 phases and finish a loop, the game strips you back down to phase 1 and makes you start the whole process over. It's a cool idea, but holy hell, this game is hard. And full transparency, I never managed to dock all 3 ships. The most I got was 2 docked at a time. Because this game is legitimately brutal. I played the original arcade version through MAME, and while I had fun, the difficulty is just absurd. And the enemies? I don't know who's commanding these alien fleets, but they're absolute idiots. You're telling me an advanced extraterrestrial civilization decided the best strategy for space warfare is slamming your ship directly into the enemy. This is caveman tactics. This is what happens when you put monkeys in a spacecraft and tell them, go get 'em, fellas. Seriously, what genius came up with this kamikaze shit? And the graphics are neat for 1980. And while there's no real soundtrack, the sound design is punchy and iconic in that early arcade way. And the docking sequence, honestly, pretty fun. It's tricky at first, but lining up your ship with tiny micro adjustments is surprisingly satisfying. And I should also point out that before there was Moon Cresta, there was actually Moon Alpha, which was released in 1979. This game is basically a prototype of Moon Cresta. Same idea of a rocket that grows in stages, and same extra lives as segments of ships concept. Unfortunately, Moon Alpha is basically lost media at this point. I could not find a playable version of this game anywhere. And the only thing I could find was a flyer. If anyone out there knows how to play Moon Alpha today, I would very much appreciate if you left a comment down below. Because I genuinely wanted to cover it, but right now, it appears to be inaccessible. And Moon Cresta also got some home ports on the ZX Spectrum, the Commodore 64, the BBC Micro, the Amstrad CPC, the Dragon 3764, and the X6 8000. I don't have access to any of those systems, so I cannot review these versions. But if you want to play Moon Cresta today, without emulation, the Hamster Corporation released it under Arcade Archives on the PlayStation 4 and Nintendo Switch. So Moon Cresta is accessible and playable. I just wish it was on Steam. So, what did I think of Moon Cresta overall? It's fine, not horrible, and not amazing. It's a neat piece of arcade history with a cool docking mechanic. But when you compare it to giants like Galaga or Space Invaders, it doesn't really compete. Those games are tighter, more polished, and honestly, just way more fun. But if you're into niche space shooters, there's definitely enjoyment to be had here. It's weird, it's challenging, and it's definitely unique. And who knows, maybe the sequels get better. And I'm looking forward to playing Terra Cresta next Saturday. Maybe that one will surprise me. Either way, I'll see you guys then.